Good morning, everyone. Hi, Daddy-O. Hope you're having a great day. Staying warm. So, we had a week off last week due to the storms, and I was trying to get some stuff done. Hi, Sea Slayer. How are you? So I made a couple changes to the stream setup. Let me know if you can hear music in the background on my headphones. So I just want to make sure that it's playing, or if I still need to work on setting that up. So last time we played, we finished the Nancy Drew game, and I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction, and we're going to start this game called Foolish Mortals. It is also another point. I thought it looked really interesting. I don't know if y'all can hear my daughter playing in the back, or singing in the background. So we will get into that. Again, let me know if y'all can hear music playing in the background. And we will get started with Foolish Mortals. It is launching. Sorry for the wait. Okay. You can go get a hairbrush.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Game. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Okay. 1 second. I'm gonna put y'all back on chatting while I get this fixed, because it keeps erroring.
Why is there a hair tie in there? Why there's a hair tie in the girl's hair?
Why is there a hair tie in the girl's hair?
Uh-huh.
To hold it into a ponytail.
But I need to brush it.
Sorry, it's being a little slow.
Will you get the ponytail out of here?
Yeah, 1 second, baby. Oops, sorry.
Thank you.
Hold on, there's one more.
There's more?
Yeah,
There was 2?
there was 2. Trying to get it to boot up. Did everybody stay warm this past cold front? I know we had a lot of ice still melting. So it's showing that it's up and launched, but it's not popping up on my computer. So sorry, I'm troubleshooting some of this. You hear my son in the background. He's banging on his cup.
The girl got to wash his hair. Because it has clothes on, because it got stains. Like a shirt, like a shirt,
A shirt?
like a shirt thing.
A shirt thing?
Looks like a shirt thing, a shirt thing, and an open thing.
Oh, shut thing. It's booting up now. It's just taking a while.
Because I gotta wash it.
It booted up really quickly the first time I booted it up before stream, and then I exited out of it. Music. Apologize for the delay.
Let's go in there.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reboot my computer, so that means I'm gonna have to stop stream and then get back on. So if y'all could just hold with me for a moment, I'll start my stream up as soon as possible once I get this rebooted. Thank you. Oh, never mind. Here it goes. I had to threaten it, evidently. Okay, let's see. Before it popped up automatically. It's not picking it up. There we go.
Uh-oh. It legs.
Resize it so it fits on the screen. Sorry.
It's over. Let's knock it over.
There we go. That should be good. Alright, y'all ready to start this? Left click to interact, double click to quick travel, right click to examine, begin.
They said there was a treasure on the island. Its location known only to the dead. I could see it in my dreams. How was I supposed to know that in order to find it, I'd have to die too?
Well, I think you're a fool. Everyone on Devil's Rock knows what happened to that house. Over 30 years it stood empty now. Locals won't go near it. I say all it contains now is dust, cobwebs, and bad luck.
I don't have time for ghost stories.
Then what do you want with it?
33 years ago, the Belmore Trading Company was wound up and absorbed by the state. The owner's dead, the heir nowhere to be found. Money was missing from the company accounts, and it's still unaccounted for. I'm here to find it.
So you're a treasure hunter?
Not quite. I'm an auditor.
An auditor? Records, taxes, all that stuff?
Think of me as the adventurer of the accounts book. But on this case, I'm out of office and on location. At 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, the state's claim on that money lapses for good along with my commission. So I've got one night to find it. I'm overdue for a meeting with the parish comptroller to reopen the case.
The comptroller you're meeting wouldn't happen to be Theodore Grimes, would it?
Yes, I believe it is.
Would be hard to convince him, I'd say.
Why's that? I'm a good talker.
He died about 4 days ago. I'd wager he's waiting to be buried in St. Juniper Cemetery, stiff as a board.
Okay, that might be tricky. Talking to the dead isn't quite within my skill set.
Remember what I said about that house and bad luck?
My bad luck started long before that house. It's a 3-day journey to get here, and it took me 7. And ever since my suitcase got dropped overboard on the steamer, all I have to my name is a pocket watch, a magazine, and $1.
Less than $1, actually. You owe me for the taxi ride.
So I'm getting very strong, like, Haunted Mansion vibes from this. So let's see. I guess we have to pay him.
And here's your change.
Didn't you say you'd take me into town?
You can walk from here. No one with any sense would go further onto this island at night. And remember, the tide's coming in. Within the hour, you'll be cut off from the mainland until tomorrow.
That suits me. I took the pocket watch out of my vest and clicked open the cover. I've got 13 hours to find $13 million.
Unlucky for some, but if you're really dead set on it, here's a tip. Go find the Spirit Queen.
The Spirit Queen? Who is that?
I think you'll find you mean, what's that? Good luck, Murphy McAllen.
Walking into the port town of Deadnettle, I could sense its history in every stone, brick, and plank. Echoes of merchant ships loading and unloading all manner of cargo from expeditions throughout the Caribbean. Gold and treasure that may still lie hidden on the island.
Okay, so we need to find the Spirit Queen. That was the suggestion. So let's see. Door. Just trying to figure out the mechanics of moving around. So it's just like simple point. And are you able to investigate anything, or it has to have a certain something on it? Okay, can't go down there, I guess. Yeah, it's roped off. Alright, so
It was the door to a jewelry store named Doubloon's Jewelry. The door was locked with a sign in the window saying, "Closed for private appointment, reopening shortly." I could see 2 gentlemen inside the store. A spindly man with a wiry mustache had his face pressed against a display cabinet, while a diminutive older gentleman tried desperately to pull him away. I'd seen similar behavior in Laurel and Hardy pictures.
Let's go check out, see what this puppet show box.
The puppet show hadn't started yet. Set up on the seafront was an elaborate carved wood puppet theater with Pulcinella painted across the top. The decorative iron gate was closed with a secure lock.
Slap meat with a paddle. It's a whopper. Well, blast my barnacles. That's the third one tonight. These fish sure must have been spooked by something.
We'll go see if we can talk to this guy.
Are the fish biting?
Not so well today, to tell the truth. That was the first nibble in hours. I'm Ned Kipps, by the way. I haven't seen you around here before.
I'm here because I have a very important job on this island. A calling that only I can fulfill. Dark secrets that I need to uncover.
Oh, you're a tourist. Now, why on earth would you choose Devil's Rock as the place to vacation?
I must have done something to upset my travel agent. The name's Murphy McCallan.
Nice to meet you, Mac. Not peckish, are you? You can help yourself to what I got here in my bucket if you like.
Oh, thanks. My expectations of a local seafood delicacy quickly unraveled when I plunged my hands into what felt like lumpy jelly. Ugh! There was a handful of fish guts.
Ha! That's the best bait you get around here. They smell pretty bad, but the critters on this island love them. Who would have known they're good at suckering in tourists, too?
Have you heard of the Spirit Queen?
Heard of her? Sure. But I wouldn't be heading out into the bayou at this time of night.
If she's out there, that's where I need to go.
Murphy, bayou's dangerous. It's not the kind of place you want to go alone.
I'll be careful.
Well, if you're set on it, just take the western route out of town, left at Pimlico Rock, then right on into the bayou. Without dark it gets in there, you'll see the lights guiding you the last stretch of the way. Just make sure the gators don't get too attached to you.
Okay, I didn't realize asking him that would automatically... Okay, cool. I can still have a conversation.
What's life like in Dead Nettle?
Well, it's not the hustle and bustle it used to be, but it suits me just fine. The ships just don't come through Dead Nettle anymore. Not since the disappearance.
You must have been talking about the Belmore wedding. The locals actually believed the story. Have you ever considered moving to the mainland?
Nah, I wouldn't like it over there. Crazies, oddballs, crackpots. The mainland doesn't have any of them.
What's that you're reading?
This is Herman Melville's Moby Dick.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm struggling my way through it, to be honest. I thought it was a how-to book. I much preferred the last book I read. It was much more action-packed.
What book was that?
The Encyclopedia of Fishing Lures, 3rd edition.
I'm going to get back to exploring the island.
I wouldn't go looking for it if I were you, you know.
Excuse me?
The folks this island gets now either seem to be looking for something or running away from something. You look like you're doing both. You've got your eye on that Belmore treasure, and I wouldn't be doing right by you if I didn't warn you to stay away from it. I know this island has a reputation for the macabre, and it's all fun and games in the beginning, but dig too deep, and you end up in a place you don't want to be.
What makes you think I... Ned looked at me in a way that told me my playing innocent wasn't going to work. Okay, that's right, but I'm not a grave robber. I'm an auditor, contracted by the state.
It don't matter what your reasons are, Mac. You need to be careful with that house. Us locals, we don't go anywhere near it.
I appreciate the concern, but who can really say they've seen a ghost?
I have, Murphy, and I'm not the only one. Ever since the disappearance, anyone brave or foolish enough to go up to their house has seen the same thing. You might say it was moonlight shimmering off dusty glass, the shadow of a tree branch, or a curtain blown by an unseen breeze. But deep down, we all know what we saw.
What did you see?
The phantom. It's not something anyone will forget. Every poor soul who's seen the phantom has been plagued by the most awful experience. Night after night of endless nightmares. Months of restless sleep. Just visions of faces. Evil faces. Laughing. It's like it can infect your dreams.
And who do you think the phantom is? Or was?
Nobody knows, but it must have been someone at that awful wedding. Someone who doesn't want to leave the house or doesn't want to let anyone in.
I appreciate your concern, but I have a job to do. I don't think my boss would be too happy if I report back that ghosts and ghouls are what's standing in my way.
You're not the first to come looking for the treasure, you know.
But if I find it, I could be the last.
Whether you find it or not, I hope that's true, for everyone's sake.
Ned's talk of nightmares was the last thing I needed to be worried about. Even if it was a job, ever since I read about the Belmore treasure, all I could do was dream about finding it.
Okay, let's keep searching. I think I can...
Wants you. What's me?
let's go back this way. As far as I can go. Okay, so that takes me out of Dead Metal. I guess let's go to Causeway Beach.
As I returned to the beach, I could see the causeway was now fully flooded over by the rising tide. I was trapped here until dawn.
Little girl playing with her boat.
Hello? Little girl? You lost your mommy and daddy? It's late, there could be a lot of strange people around.
Yeah, I think I'm talking to one.
Maybe I should introduce myself. My name's Murphy McCallan. What's yours?
Mallory Wisp. Angel on the outside, malevolent force of disparagement, derision, and disorder on the inside. At least, that's what Mrs. Huxley wrote in my school report. Hey, do you know what an enfant terrible is?
Do your parents know you're here?
Of course they do. This is my happy place. I come here when I need to cheer up.
What's got you down?
It's my birthday, and I didn't get the present I wanted.
Well, happy birthday. Is being out here helping?
A little. It's a nice place to plot my revenge.
This doesn't sound like an appropriate way for a little girl to spend her time.
Little girl? Little girl? What am I supposed to like? Posies and princesses? Tiaras and tea parties? Those are not my thing.
How are you planning on getting revenge?
I'm not sure. Currently, I'm at the plotting and ruminating stage of my plan.
What are you plotting and ruminating about?
How things would be different if I was in charge of the world. We had a school project last week. What we want to be when we grow up. Mildred wanted to be a baker. Bobby wanted to be a firefighter.
What did you want to be?
Queen of the universe.
I guess no one can accuse you of lacking ambition. Do you think you could fix the world's problems and make the world a better place if you were in charge?
Oh, absolutely not. It would be far worse. My patience is worn so thin with all the idiots around me. I don't know if it would be wise for me to wield that much power. You to the dungeons! You to the torture room! It would be very cathartic for me, though.
What present did you want for your birthday?
A doll?
A doll?
What's wrong with wanting a doll?
Nothing, I just didn't expect it. It doesn't quite fit with your whole aura.
I'm still a little girl. I don't have to defy all your stereotypes. Instead, I get this stupid tin boat. I know Sebastian's got something to do with it, too. He was all over the tin boat when I showed him my toy catalog from Mulligan's.
Is he one of your friends?
Not in a million years. You can see right through him.
Shouldn't you be heading home?
I'm in trouble at home. Mrs. Huxley held me back for detention yesterday. Again.
What did you do?
I convinced 3/4 of the class to sign over their eternal souls to me in exchange for some jelly beans. Third graders are remarkably easy to manipulate with a bag of candy and a little peer pressure.
Why did you do that?
You've got to speculate to accumulate.
Why did you want their souls? What use do you have for them?
Just making sure I'm prepared. And that's just step 1.
I didn't dare ask what she was preparing for. Have you heard of the Spirit Queen?
Look, if Maury put you up to this, you can tell him that I have no intention of going anywhere near his big, boring boat again. And anyway, those skulls look better with a little lipstick on them. I even made some cowrie necklaces for them, but nope. If we have a skeletal uprising, they're just going to have to maraud without being dolled up. And they'll have to take it up with Maury.
Who's Moray?
Nope, not falling for it.
Do you like living on Devil's Rock?
This island is cut off from society, an isolated microcosm of the dark and macabre. If I'm honest, it fits me quite nicely. Lots of places to explore, too, when I'm not banned from them.
Where are you banned from?
Where am I not? The Captain's Club wouldn't let me in after I declared a mutiny. The lady at the newspaper office kicked me out when I tried selling stories about a zombie uprising. The witch doctor in the bayou threatened to hex me if I didn't stop sneaking on board and borrowing his toys. And the gravedigger banned me from the cemetery when I played a teensy little practical joke.
What did you do?
I convinced him the stiff he'd buried was still alive. People are so antisocial around here.
I better get going.
I wouldn't walk across the beach again if I were you. This beach is covered in quicksand. I can hop along the surface, but with your weight, you'll be sucked down like a noodle.
Oh no. Really? This beach has quicksand?
Nah, I'm just messing with you. Tourists.
After what felt like miles, the eerie darkness of the bayou gave way to the soft orange glow of a gas lamp. And beyond it, the last thing I expected to find in the heart of the swamp. Hand-painted lettering on the side of a paddle wheel revealed the Spirit Queen wasn't a person, it was a riverboat. Its hull sagged, the woods swollen and split from years in the swamp. Peeling paint curled like dead skin, and what remained of its once grand decks now tilted and crooked. It looked like a wedding cake that had been left to rot. It was an aging water tower used to replenish the steam engine aboard the riverboat. The wooden shack had a single door. From the moss growing on it, it looked like it hadn't been used for years. I jiggled the handle, but the door was locked. The glass of the window was so thick with dust and grime I couldn't see through it. The damp air of the bayou had swelled the window in its frame. It would need more force than my bare hands could supply to open it. A swiveling wooden crane used to load up cargo in days gone by stood halfway along the jetty. I needed to think of something else.
I was thinking if we were able to get the bait on the crane, we could swing it around to the alligator. But it doesn't
I
look
needed
like
to think of something else.
that's gonna work. Okay. What's this? Magazine. Wait, is that a shrunken head?
A shrunken head dangled from the lamppost, a macabre shop sign for the riverboat beyond. As I took the shrunken head from the sign, it almost seemed to grin at me. Creepy. That didn't work.
Okay.
A fierce-looking alligator blocked my way along the jetty. A broken chain hung from its neck like a leash, but this creature definitely wasn't under control. Its milky eyes stared past me, but I could tell from the way it shifted, the way its nostrils flared, that it knew exactly where I was.
Well, let me do the bait now that I've...
I needed to think of something else.
No. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna have to possibly go back before we can... I wonder if there's anything more this way.
It was the kind of water that made you question every ripple. Was it the breeze or something hungry?
Okay, let's see. So it doesn't look like we can go any further until we can figure out what to do with this alligator. There's anything else we can click on? No. Alright, so let's head back, I guess, for right now. Let's see if they'll let us in here yet.
This is dog toy or baby toy? This is dog toy or baby.
The door was locked with a sign in the window saying, "Closed for private appointment, reopening shortly." I could see two gentlemen inside the store. A spindly man with a wiry mustache had his face pressed against a display cabinet, while a diminutive older gentleman tried desperately to pull him away. I'd seen similar behavior in Laurel and Hardy pictures.
Okay, so that just took us around the back.
The decorative iron gate was closed with a secure lock.
Okay, can't do anything there. Is he gonna let us click on any of these houses? No. How about here?
It was the door to a newspaper office. A note on the door said, "Out on a scoop. Back later." A notice board stood outside the newspaper office, containing a mixture of advertisements and front pages from previous issues. Of all of the papers pinned to the board, one article stood out to me. It showed the beaming face of a rotund fisherman on the docks with a headline declaring he'd just broken the island's heaviest catch record. Good evening, Ned.
Hello again, Mac.
You didn't tell me the Spirit Queen was a riverboat.
Oh, sure. That thing's been moored up in the bayou with her keel kissing the mud for years. Witch doctor lives aboard her now. Claims to sell all manner of hoodoo and voodoo. But to believe that, you need to be dumber than the bachelor in New Orleans, throwing beads at the Sisters of Mercy.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
To make use of that, I needed something to weigh.
I'm not sure what we can do if every place is closed.
I peered into the tide pools, but all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed. I peered into the tide pools, but all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed. Despite the little girl's disparaging look at her tiny toy, I doubted she'd be okay with me commandeering it. A helium-filled balloon bobbed gently in the breeze. I didn't want to take the little girl's balloon from her. Her brooding face made it more than clear that it wouldn't be a good idea to get on her bad side. Hello again, Mallory. You snuck on board the Spirit Queen? You got past the alligator?
Oh yeah, Mephistopheles is a big softie. I think he likes the smell of rotting fish in my hair. My dad works the trawlers. Our entire house stinks like the inside of a humpback whale.
If you're not happy with your tin boat, could I have it?
I'll tell you what. I'll trade you my boat for your soul. I'm just kidding. Your soul can't be worth diddly squat. But I would like a doll.
I better get going.
See ya.
Okay, so it looks like we need to get a doll from somewhere.
Where's the sprayer, Mommy?
Actually, I think, what if she wants the voodoo head? That could be kind of like a doll.
How would you like to trade your tin boat for this?
A doll?
At least the head of one.
Deal! Oh, I'll hug him and kiss him and conquer the world with him.
Prepare to weigh anchor.
The 4:30.
I didn't want to take the little girl's balloon from her. Her brooding face made it more than clear that it wouldn't be a good idea to get on her bad side. She seemed busy with her new friend.
Mr. McAllen,
Yes? How do you know my name?
it's a work assignment that brings you to the island. Am I right?
She began staring at me with intense, hypnotic eyes. Disguised within her tailored outfit and tortoiseshell spectacles, she had the crazed look of someone not entirely in touch with reality. That's right.
An auditing job.
Eyes that looked like she was reading my very thoughts. Yes?
And you're late. Days late.
I was beginning to panic. Ned had warned me about the supernatural on this island. Was this person standing in front of me equipped with psychic powers that could read my very thoughts? How do you know all this? Are you the witch doctor?
The witch doctor? No! It was written on this telegram that came in for you. It came through a few days ago now. Your boss isn't too happy by the looks of it. Bill Bolam, the taxi driver, telephoned and said I'd find you out here.
You're reading my telegrams?
I'm a newspaper reporter. It's one of the best ways to get a good story. Now, do you want it or not?
If you wouldn't mind.
McAllen, you're late reporting in. I don't remember authorizing the reopening of a cold case, but you better make sure it pays off, or you'll be swapping desks back to the mailroom. Sid Sinclair, Sinclair Auditing Company.
Do you want to send a reply?
What was there to say? My only contact was going to be pushing up daisies by morning, and my one lead was the magazine I'd been carrying with me since heading out. Before I checked in with my boss, I needed some progress to report badly. You know, for now I'll just leave it.
Suit yourself. Sounds like you're up to some fun on the island, Murphy. Be a sweetie and keep me updated so I have something to write about, won't you?
She didn't even wait for a reply before she started striding back through the bayou. She hadn't taken a single thing from me, and yet somehow, I still felt like I'd just been mugged. The tin boat puttered around the swamp, but didn't draw the attention of the alligator. I would need something that targeted his nostrils. I packed the fish guts into the tin boat. It was the smelliest little ship to sail the 7 seas. Perhaps this would attract the gator's attention. The hulking mass of scales and muscles lumbered to the edge of the jetty, and dangled its toothy jaws over the side, its nostrils flickering at each waft of fish guts. The gator had clambered to the edge of the jetty, dangling its snout towards the bayou below. I jiggled the handle, but the door was locked. Ready? Aim. With a splash that would be the envy of any cannonballing kid at a pool party, the irritable reptile disappeared into the murky bayou. I just hoped it didn't hold a grudge. The taxidermied fish looked like it was barely hanging on to the rotting wooden frame. Deciding it would be better coming with me, I picked it up. And in doing so, tore a long hole in its previously stitched up seam. It was the taxidermied fish I'd taken from the riverboat, with a ripped seam opening up to the stuffing inside.
Spirits and specters from realms yet unknown, guide to me the wanderer who searches alone. Welcome, Murphy McCallan.
How do you know my name? Have you been reading my telegrams too?
I have no need for such trivial paperwork. I have eyes all over this island. Now it's time for me to see you for myself. Come, step into the light. I know a lot about you, Murphy. Unknown parents, a childhood spent in orphanages. I know things about you even you don't know.
How do you know all that?
My name is Dr. Moray. I am a conjurer, a shadow man, a controller of spirits that balance the line between life and death. And those spirits whisper to me. But for now, it's your time to talk, Murphy. Tell me why you've come to my humble abode.
I've been told you could help me.
That depends on what you seek.
I kept telling myself that the doctor's theatrics didn't convince me, that there must have been a logical reason why he knew what he did. But with how skittish the locals were, humoring him seemed like my only chance of learning more. I'm looking for the $13 million that went missing from the Belmore accounts. I'm an auditor in the company I work for.
Murphy, do you take me for a fool? I know what your mind sees when your eyes are closed. Tell me, Murphy, what do you dream of?
I dream about completing my work assignment.
I see that spirit within you, hungering for more than an auditor's life. And I know you've dreamed about that treasure every night since you first read the story. Tell me I'm not right.
It's like the treasure is calling out for me to find it.
Many have sought the lost treasure of Belmore Manor. All have failed. Some, it is said, have perished in the process. Do you know what happened at Belmore Manor all those years ago?
The ghost story? I've read it, but I don't know how much of it is really true.
All of it. Dark magic runs throughout Belmore Manor. The house was built by the Belmore brothers, 3 merchants from England. who made their fortune trading across the Caribbean. Xavier Belmore, an explorer. Yardley Belmore, an actor. And Cecil Belmore, a scientist. Their parents dead for many years, they each loved and cared for their young sister, Abigail. Abigail met a young sailor who worked aboard her brother's ships, and in less than a year, he proposed. The engagement was a scandal. Despite having the pick of any eligible bachelor in high society, her hand and her share of the Belmore fortune was to go to a commoner. Because of their unconditional love for their young sister, the Belmore brothers sanctioned the union. But people began to wonder if Abigail was being locked into marriage, whether by blackmail or black magic. The three proud brothers planned a grand wedding, but in the months leading up to it, one by one, each of the brothers was lost, presumed dead. And yet the wedding was still to go ahead. And with Abigail set to inherit the entire Belmore fortune once she came of age, people began to wonder whether the sailor was not a perpetrator, but a pawn. On the morning of the wedding, Abigail summoned the sailor to her chambers. "I don't love you," Abigail declared. "I never loved you." And before the guests gathered in the house, Abigail declared that she would marry another on that same evening. John Rackham, first officer of the Belmore Trading Company, would be her new groom. Except that didn't happen. That night, everyone in the house suddenly and mysteriously vanished. Perhaps it was the last revenge of the scorned sailor. In the house that night was a heart that would be broken, a victim who would be tricked, and a force that would unleash evil. But no one knows exactly who each was. If you want to find the treasure, Murphy, you'll have to find out.
You're telling me that all of that actually happened?
And so much more, Murphy. Mysteries you have yet to uncover.
Dr. Morey's performance was gripping, but it seemed like something out of the vaudeville shows I'd snuck into as a teenager. Grifters peddling magic spells, fortune-telling, and miracle elixirs. At least that's what I tried to tell myself. And the treasure, is that real too?
It is as real as you are, Murphy. And someone went to a lot of trouble hiding it.
Can you help me find it?
I can. If you can prove your dedication to the search, I will need you to retrieve something from inside the house. A small leather pouch called a gree-gree still lies inside Abigail Belmore's bedroom. We will need it if I am to help you. This will get you inside.
You're not gonna pull a rabbit out of your hat for your next trick, are you?
I do not do tricks, Murphy McCallan. You'll soon learn this. The Belmore estate lies at the end of the northeastern peninsula of Devil's Rock. Find that gree-gree and bring it back to me. I'll be here when you return. And Murphy, this ghost story? Now it's your story, too.
Framed by trees and lit by moonlight, Belmore Manor stood imposingly in the still night air. Even without any lights on, it felt like something inside the house was calling me, or warning me. A large pond lay in front of the house, slowly being reclaimed by algae, weeds, and who knew what else. Belmore Manor stood proudly and enigmatically at the center of the estate. Who knew what had gone on inside its walls? A table and chairs sat inside the gazebo, an echo of better days. From the outside, I couldn't spot any clues to the location of the Belmore treasure. I needed the key to open it. With a deep breath, I placed the key into the lock of the house I'd been thinking about for weeks and turned it. Hello? I don't know if I expected a reply, but with only an echo in response, it seemed like nobody was home. I hope that was just the wind. Huge paintings hung on the walls of the hall. It was a pair of decorated wooden doors. Flanking the staircases was a matching pair of doors leading deeper into the manor. A marble fireplace sat between the two curved staircases, guarded on each side by stone lions. An orb appeared seemingly from nowhere, glowing and shimmering with energy, simultaneously captivating and terrifying. It was like it had a presence, an aura that I couldn't explain. My first instinct was to look for smoke and mirrors, but this illusion was right before my very eyes, one that I could reach out and touch. This was strange. I didn't remember seeing any lights on when I was outside the house. Walking into the room, I realized it must have been Abigail's bedroom. I was in the right place. Somewhere in this room was the Gree-Gree, and I needed to find it. The corner of the room held a dressing table with a large trifold mirror. It was a beautiful vase waiting for beautiful flowers. It was best to leave the vase where it was. The music box looked exquisite. The deeply varnished wood, grain still visible, was edged delicately with gold. The music box was locked with no visible keyhole, but a distinctive indent on the front looked like it might be the mechanism to open it, if I had the right key. The phonograph in the corner of the room could be seen in the reflection. The phonograph didn't have a record to play. It was an old phonograph used for playing music. It was a marble fireplace covered in dust. Lighting the fire may have warmed the room, but it couldn't take away the chill I felt standing there. The portraits hung tight to the wall and didn't reveal anything hidden behind them. I took the poker from the hook.
Get out.
I hope that was my imagination. A grate opened beneath the stove to the ash pan, designed to allow burned charcoal and ashes to be cleaned out, and something inside it was glinting in the light. I tried to lift the ash pan grate, but decades without use had rusted it in place. I wedged the poker in the grate, and with all my might, pulled. I picked up the object that had been glinting in the fireplace and discovered it was a jeweled brooch. The brooch fitted snugly into the indentation in the music box. With a small click, the music box opened and revealed the contents it had held untouched for more than 30 years. The small leather bag was just as the witch doctor had described. It was hard to imagine what could be so important about it.
You should not be here!
Wait, I can explain.
You don't belong here!
I don't mean any harm.
Get out! Get out!
With good fortune, the pond had broken my fall. It was a strange juxtaposition, wiggling goldfish out of my underwear as I tried to process the fact that I'd just been the victim of an attempted murder by a ghost bride. The stories were true, so that meant the treasure might be real as well. And now I had the Gree-Gree. It was time to return to the Spirit Queen.
Murphy, did you find it?
I saw her. I saw the bride. She tried to kill me.
I told you it was true. Now, do you have the Gree-Gree?
Yes, I found it.
Good. Good. Now, do you believe what I've been telling you?
I'm starting to. Why did she try to kill me?
There are some spirits that, even in death, do not wish to give up what they amassed in life. The question is, are you strong enough to persuade them?
I would be if they'd give me a chance to ask them.
Precisely. That will be our next step.
A manuscript for a voodoo spell? A spell to help me find the treasure?
A spell to reveal those who know where it is. There are many things on this island that have gone unseen. Stories that have been left unheard, at least by mortals. But I commune with realms beyond. Let me introduce you to a friend. out of the shadows, the cursed and the damned. Return now, my servants, to do my command!
I have returned to you, Master.
Loa, this gentleman wishes to find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor. Tell him how this can be done.
Only inhabitants of the house know where the treasure lies, their spirits still within its walls, trapped between life and death. To ask them, those spirits must be pulled back to the mortal realm.
And that is what our spell will do, Murphy. A summoning spell to unveil the ghost trapped within the house.
7 ingredients place inside, tie closed and then unseal. Within the focus what may hide, this spell will soon reveal.
Once you've collected all 7, we can summon the ghosts of Belmore Manor. Once we've summoned the ghosts, we can ask them exactly where the treasure was hidden. You have served me, Loa. Begone! That, Murphy, is your goal. Find the 7 ingredients named in the voodoo manuscript, place them in the Gree-Gree, and return to the Spirit Queen. Are you up to the task?
I think so.
Excellent. Then there's just one thing left to do. The Gree-Gree that you carry is not yours. It was stolen from the spirits. And an artifact of voodoo will only work for its rightful owner. To be used, it cannot be stolen. It can only be bought or traded or inherited. Fortunately for you, the spirits and I are willing to make a trade for something symbolic of your spirit. The spirit that yearns to escape its humdrum life. If you want the Gree-Gree to be rightfully yours, what do you have to offer in exchange for it?
What about this?
A pocket watch, a symbol of the life that doesn't satisfy you, a symbol of lost time. Dare you give it up?
I think I can do without it.
Then cast it into the spirit pool. The spirits have deemed it a satisfactory trade. The Gree-Gree and its powers are now rightfully yours to wield. You are ready now, Murphy. Head out to the island and retrieve the ingredients we need. Then I will show you the final step of the spell.
How am I going to find what I need?
Everything I've ever needed for my voodoo spells, I've found here. It's as though this island draws the supernatural to it. The bayou, the beach, the town, the manor, all will help you in your search. Tell me, Murphy, have you visited the mill to the north, the fort to the south, the church at the island's heart? The island will lead you to that which you seek. I have no doubt about that.
How are the ghosts trapped within Belmore Manor?
The explosion is what sealed their fate. They exist now only as spirits, the form they should take in the spirit realm, and yet they remain here in the mortal realm. The ghosts are trapped in that house, unseen, unheard, and unable to interact with the world around them. This spell will change that.
How is the bride able to attack me when she's supposedly unseen and unheard?
Voodoo works best when attuned to emotion, and the strongest of those emotions can sometimes push beyond the known limits. She must have been very angry with you.
If I summon the spirits of the house, won't I also summon the bride again?
Very true, Murphy. Best be a little more persuasive this time.
Who is the creature that you talk to?
That is my Loa. The Loa are the mysteries, the invisibles, the messengers.
Is it a ghost?
No. They are the intermediaries between humans and the supernatural. There are two planes of existence, Murphy. The mortal realm and the spirit realm. Loa can move between them both. With my powers, I can command them when they do.
What was the explosion that caused everyone to disappear?
It was a tearing in the very threshold between life and death, a chain reaction of spirit energy suddenly unleashed by the most violent of emotions. Just as the bride's anger allowed her to manifest in front of you this very evening, think of the rage that must have caused an entire household to explode and vanish.
How did you learn voodoo?
I have always been adept with the mystic arts. Just as you dream of treasure, Murphy, I dream of power. I came to Devil's Rock many years ago, drawn by its voodoo energy, and no sooner than I arrived, the spirit realm began to reveal itself to me, pleading for me to be its master.
Why is this island such a focus of voodoo energy?
I suspect the answer to that question already lies in what you're seeking.
What's this riverboat we're aboard?
This is the Spirit Queen. It used to be a pleasure boat, plying the rivers around the island, a den of drinking and gambling. That's how I came to own the boat. A lucky game of chance. But between you and me, Murphy, it's a lot easier to win when you have spirits to control the roll of the dice.
It sounds like you cheated.
Fate was always gonna bring this boat to me. I just hurried it along.
Do you keep an alligator as a pet?
That's right. My dear old Mephistopheles. Blind as a bat, but with the smell of a bloodhound. Good thing he's chained up safely in the boiler room.
No, he isn't. He was out on the jetty when I was trying to get aboard.
Where is he now?
Swimming in the bayou.
Oh dear, not again.
I'm going to go and find the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
Loose and he didn't know it, and now he's swimming in the bayou. I have a feeling that this is just my assumption at the beginning of the game, that the voodoo doctor has something more to do with what happened in the house. Like, my guess would be that he's the person that she decided to marry in the end. Possibly because he had something over her, like maybe finding her brothers or something. That's my guess. But we will see. We will find out. How's everyone liking the game so far? I feel like it has a good story to it so far. Like the jewelry shop is open now.
Oh,
my second customer of the night. I don't know if I can handle such a rush. Welcome, young man, to Doubloon's Jewelry. Oh, the riches to fill your breeches. Jewels, silver, gold, the finest things for you to behold. Whom do I have the pleasure of meeting?
My name's Murphy McCallan.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you. My name's Jasper Crumb, owner and proprietor. Are you looking for something valuable while you're here on the island?
Funnily enough, I am.
Is there a special someone in your life? Looking for an apology gift, perhaps? I've sold more missed anniversary necklaces and drunken fumble earrings than I can count.
No, I don't need anything like that.
Then how about something for yourself? You look like a working man. Could I interest you in a pocket watch?
Actually, I had one up until about an hour ago. Traded it to a glowing green guy for a magic pouch. As the words left my lips, I realized I sounded like a character from Jack and the Beanstalk.
Pardon me?
I'm just here to browse.
Browse away, young man. I'll be here if you need me.
It was a gold leaf-covered carving of what looked like a goose. It was an ornate display cabinet. A small glass fishbowl sat on top of a cabinet, the goldfish inside swimming around happily. It was an ornate display cabinet. The poster read, "Free polishing on all purchases. Gemstones bought." There was no way I could carry a fishbowl full of water and a live goldfish around with me. The cabinet was filled with used jewelry. Rings, brooches, necklaces, and more. Even second-hand, I would have had to save for years to afford any of them. I didn't need the poster. The cabinet was filled with precious jewels, geodes, and fossils next to a small sign that read, "Treasures of the Earth." I inspected the carving. Its woodworm-dotted surface and water-stained edges suggested it had once been much more than a decorative piece in a jewelry store. The cabinet proudly displayed all manner of gold and silver creations, watches, necklaces, pendants, and more, all made in-house by the jeweler. Even if I could reach it, it was probably better for the jeweler to operate equipment like that. There was no reason to use the microscope without something to magnify. Robbing a jewelry store really wasn't my style. Good evening, Mr. Crumb.
How can I help you?
How's business tonight?
You're not a millionaire with an enraged fiancé, are you?
I'm not, no.
I didn't think so. Then business tonight is about as lively as a snail drinking decaf. The only other customer I had in here tonight was more interested in the provenance of fossils than the shiny stuff. Booked a private viewing, and then didn't buy anything. Can you believe it? The first time in weeks this shop gets a private viewing, and all they're interested in is bones.
You sell fossils, too?
I sell all the treasures of the earth. If it's under the ground and I can sell it, I'm interested.
I hear Burke and Hare had the same philosophy. What are you selling?
We specialize in jewelry and precious stones. Rings, necklaces, earrings, and brooches in this cabinet to my left. Gems, geodes, and fossils in this cabinet to my right. You'd be surprised at how much of an impact some stones can make. My family can tell you that. We also offer a free polishing service on all purchases from the shop. Just bring it in and we'll shine it up for you. Our little thank you to our loyal customers.
How do you know what jewelry was purchased here?
I handcraft everything this shop sells. I have an encyclopedic knowledge of our wares, Mr. McCallan, going back decades.
I'm looking for lost treasure.
I'd say you found it. Everything inside these four walls is a treasure, handmade to the finest quality.
I mean a specific treasure. The lost treasure of Belmore Manor.
Well, if you find it, bring it in here for an appraisal. I'll give you a good price for it. But that's a pretty big if, isn't it?
What's the most valuable thing in here?
I suppose that depends on how you value things, doesn't it?
In dollars and cents?
Yes, I used to value things that way. But a lack of business has a way of making you more philosophical about these things. Now I'd say the most valuable thing here is Granny.
Granny? Your grandmother is in here?
That's right. In the fishbowl. Granny is my goldfish.
You named your goldfish Granny?
Yes, it was the most wondrous thing. The same day my grandmother Bethesda died, I was out at the local fun fair, and I won this goldfish on the ring toss. When we got home, every time we mentioned Bethesda, that little fish jumped out of the water and back on in. We think Granny's passed on into that fish. What do you think?
I mean this with no disrespect, but I think that's the craziest thing I've come across tonight, and I had a ghost bride trying to kill me.
We all have our quirks.
But don't goldfish only live for a few years? If she was your grandmother, she must have died sometime around the middle of the last century.
Oh yes, that's right. Each time the goldfish dies, Granny's spirit hops into a new fish. We must be on Granny number 44 by now.
What do you know about Belmore Manor?
Oh, it's a tragedy what went on there. But I know what I think. Black magic.
Black magic?
That's right. While some of us make an honest living around these parts, there are others who are lured in by the darker depths of the sea.
Who do you think that was?
Well, it's simple, isn't it? Abigail used to stop by here all the time, taking a gander at the rings and the necklaces. She was a lovely young girl who always saw the best in people. And Mr. Rackham, he was a model for how to run a good business, honest and decisive. Now, that only leaves one person, doesn't it?
The sailor?
Exactly. I'd heard rumors about black magic going on inside Belmore Manor. I think he was casting his spell on Abigail, making her fall in love with him. Why else would someone as rich as her want to marry someone like him? He certainly couldn't afford the rings and necklaces that caught her eye. I think, come the night of the wedding, she wised up. That's why she decided to marry Mr. Rackham after all, a much more responsible choice for the company.
What's the carving on the front of your counter?
That is the genuine stone carving of the Golden Goose, the famous brigantine. I could trace my family's history on the island back hundreds of years, right back to the ship's owner, Captain Bartholomew Crumb. You've heard of him, I expect.
Captain Crumb, the vicious pirate? I read about him as a child.
One of the most successful in the Caribbean. That is, until, as the story goes, he got pursued by a ghost ship.
A ghost ship? Surely that can't be more than a legend.
Then how do you explain this? Without a single shot fired, every sailor aboard his ship fell down dead, victims of an evil pirate who wielded a black stone. Captain Crumb was the sole survivor. He escaped undetected in a rowboat, and after days at sea, made it to this very island. After that, he never went to sea again. Instead, he set up this shop with the one chest of jewels he'd managed to carry away. Some of the gems you see around here still date back to that final hoard.
A black stone killed the crew?
Well, so the story goes. I suppose it explains my family's obsession. Not just the gold and jewels that tempt us, but the wicked stones that threaten us.
Why did Captain Crumb come to Devil's Rock to set up his store?
This was his home port. Devil's Rock used to be quite the lawless island. Legend goes he used to hide his treasure along the southeastern coastline. The island is dotted with caves. Plenty of places to hide the loot.
I think I'll just look around for now.
I'm here if you need me.
Excuse me, would you be able to polish a brooch for me?
Let me take a look. Oh, well, 18-karat yellow gold, filigree wirework in a handcrafted floral motif, and round, brilliant cut ruby. If I'm not mistaken, made to fit a music box?
That's right. How did you know that?
I know my own handiwork anywhere. Now, how did you get a hold of it?
Oh, just a gift.
What a generous gift indeed. Well, Well, we do offer free polishings on all items purchased here, so I'd be very happy to shine her up for you. Please, bear with me for a moment. There we go, shining like a firefly's rear end. I'm afraid the clasp on the back has broken off. You weren't planning on wearing it soon, were you?
I wasn't planning on wearing it at all.
There's no shame in indulging yourself every once in a while. Lord knows I can appreciate the comfort and empowerment a pair of hosiery can bring. Anyway, we don't have any replacement clasps in stock, but I can put in an order. In the meantime, here's a button magnet that should hold it in place, as long as you're not too vigorous with it.
Thank you. While the microscope was meant for jewelry, I was confident I'd already revealed this brooch's secrets.
What a nice young man. Isn't he, Granny? I couldn't have put it better myself.
The puppet show hadn't started yet. Good evening. He looked past me like I was invisible, as though if he ignored me hard enough, there was a chance I'd disappear. I said good evening?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were talking to me.
There's no one else here.
Wishful thinking on my part. Have you taken a wrong turn, sir?
I'm just having a look around.
Well, make it a quick one, and I shall need to know your name.
Murphy McCallan, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
My name is Felix Greer, maitre d', bartender, and acting manager of the Captain's Club. When Mr. Perkins has the night off.
What is this place?
This, sir, is the Captain's Club, a private members club for current and retired sea and riverboat captains. We are highly exclusive. Are you a captain?
He asked with a smugness that told me he already knew the answer.
I thought not. Then may I recommend a swift exit? You'll find a convenient egress to your starboard side. If you like, I can give you a good swift kick in the right direction, sir. And don't feel a need to stop walking until your ankles get soggy.
I'm looking for the lost treasure of Belmore Manor.
Oh, goody! Another young adventurer seeking fame, fortune, or some combination of the two. Just the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking.
What do you know about the lost treasure?
Do you think you're living in a storybook? Weathered maps, talking parrots, X marks the spot? Grow up, you silly boy. Captaincy is a noble skill that doesn't need to be trivialized with childish tales of lost treasure.
You must have some thoughts on the disappearance.
On moonlit nights, when the waves crash against the rocks, the captains of this club trade yarns about this very mystery. Did you know Abigail Belmore's fiancé was a sailor who worked on the ships? Some of the old boys here even worked with him. They say he loved her, as true as a captain loves the sea. But she was a temptress, a siren. She scuttled that sailor's heart, consumed by a voodoo premonition that she had to fulfill. More beautiful than a mermaid? and twice as fishy.
What did she do?
After months of engagement, she broke it off and chose to marry an officer of the company instead, on their very wedding day.
Why did she do that?
The rumors I've heard are that they discovered something in the Caribbean. Something wicked. Something that consumed them and drove them to heinous acts. The Belmore brothers swore their crew to secrecy, and the men were loyal to their word. But the rot in the rope was that sister, Abigail. People say that whatever they discovered took hold of her. With the sailor's broken heart and the officer's resources, she was about to unleash something terrible. Until the disappearance halted her evil plans.
Do you think that's true?
Of course not. It's all nonsense. But the captains do love to outperform each other with such tales on a dull evening.
What makes you think I'm not a captain?
For one thing, you lack the grizzle, the crustiness, the essential R of a captain.
How do I get those?
Years of exposure to saltwater and a sullen, uncooperative crew, I should think. Do you even have a boat?
Actually, I did have one earlier this evening, but an alligator fell on it. Admittedly, it was only 3 inches long.
It isn't the size that matters, sir. It's the motion of the ocean. Tell me, have you ever captained a three-rigger through a tropical typhoon? Have you ever run the rapids of the Mississippi without hitting a single reef? Wind in your sails? Fire in your furnace? Waves beneath your keel?
Have you?
Well, it's a little complicated.
In what way?
I get seasick.
Is there any way to prove I'm a captain?
You might show me your captain's license. As I'm sure you know, the state of Louisiana requires all captains of both river and sea to carry one. But don't try to foist off a fake on me. Last week we had someone present a license with a photograph distinctly unlike their contemporary appearance. The photograph was clearly of someone a good deal older than them, with more facial hair, and most importantly, one less eye.
You know, I quite like being out at sea.
Oh, really, sir?
Bobbing along the ocean waves, up and down, like one of those roller coasters at Lunaland. Up and down and up and down.
If sir would please be quiet. Else I expect there'll be a few waves of something coming out of my mouth any moment.
Is the club busy tonight?
Well, we haven't opened yet, but if it's like last week, it'll be quite the lively soiree. I could barely keep up.
The members here like to have a good time?
That's right, sir. Both of them. This town sure isn't what it used to be.
What's happened to Dead Nettle?
Do you think you've wandered into the Tourist Information Center? I can assure you, you'll never meet a tourism official who dresses with this much panache. Stuart LePew, head of the Devil's Rock Historical Society, looks like a thrift store had a crisis of conscience and threw up on him.
I was just hoping to talk to someone so obviously knowledgeable about the area.
Well, yes, that is true. I am plagued with an encyclopedic knowledge of the locality. My concierge duties require it. I have a spiel.
Felix pushed out his chest like this was his moment in the limelight, his eyelids half closing as he performed before imagined crowds.
Welcome, hardy traveler, to our quaint port town of Dead Nettle. Once this town you see around you was a hub of commerce, a beacon for ships bravely navigating between America, Europe, and the Caribbean. With the unfortunate dissolution of the Belmore Trading Company, our town has settled into a quieter life, perfect for the sailor ready to hang up their cap. We hope that you enjoy your time in our cozy town, and perhaps explore some of the local sites here in Dead Nettle. Well...
Excuse me?
I was expecting applause.
I best be casting off.
Don't feel the need to rush back, sir.
The courtyard echoed with the trickling noise of a small fountain. It was a fancy elevator with a curious layer of dust. There was nothing in the fountain except a rim of moss and dirt that made it look like a stained toilet.
You can't go up there. It's for members only.
So we gotta figure out a way to prove that we're a captain, which I'm wondering if this lady's gonna help us out if we were able to go in there.
Shirts, socks, and oversized underwear had been left out to dry overnight.
Murphy McCallan, so you're still here. What have you been up to? Anything newsworthy?
That's none of your business. Don't think I've forgotten your trick with the telegram.
Hey, it's nothing personal. Your business is my business, and my business is news. I'm Evelyn Stoker, editor of the Juniper Parish Gazette. No misdeed left unshared, no drama left unmonetized. Come on, work with me here, McCallan. I need something juicy. Committed any crimes? Uncovered any affairs? Any deep, personal secrets to reveal?
The honest-to-God truth? No.
I need a good story. I can't let something minor like the truth stand in the way of that.
Hanging on a peg at the far side of the room was a battered flashbulb camera. The back wall of the newspaper office was filled with filing cabinets. From the labels on the front, they looked to be archived issues of the Juniper Parish Gazette. I picked up the twine. With her stunt at the bayou, I figured she owed me one. I picked up the scissors. Maybe she owed me two. It was a big, fancy printing press, which must have cost a fortune decades ago, but was now very much out of date. On the floor was a large canister filled with dark black printer's ink. Around it, the floor was stained with ink splatters. The back wall of the newspaper office was filled with filing cabinets. From the labels on the front, they looked
Yes?
Hi. What are you working on?
One of the most romantic articles this newspaper's ever seen. Francois Fogg, Dead Nettle's local pharmacist, is reuniting with his long-lost love after 14 years apart, thanks to this newspaper's personal ads column.
What a lovely story.
That's right. She mailed in a letter she wanted printed. Her former sweetheart saw it, and now they're on track to see each other again. Eventually.
Eventually?
Well, that's a bit of an administrative issue. In the letter we received, she told him to meet her in her Texas hometown of Magnolia. Due to a tiny typesetting error, he's now on a 6-week voyage to Mongolia. But doesn't it warm your heart how far people will go for love?
Don't you have more interesting stories to write about?
The crackpots this island calls a population wouldn't know something interesting if they paid for it. Which they hardly do. Believe me, I've tried to get juicier stories. Scouring the island, doorstop interviews, hiding under windows.
You eavesdrop on people through their windows?
It's called investigative reporting.
I'm doing some research on the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Have you found it?
Well, no, not yet. I've just started looking.
Then don't waste my time. Come back when you've got the goods.
You might not believe this, but I saw a ghost inside Belmore Manor.
You know what? You're right, McCallan. I don't believe it. Really? You've been on this island how long? And you're already starting to sound as loopy as a local.
Have you ever written an article on the disappearance at Belmore Manor?
What a waste of column inches. Leave it. That's my advice. There's no story in it.
No story?
Not one that anyone would believe. And I've got advertisers breathing down my neck.
What do you think went on?
Practically everyone on this island thinks there was some kind of sorcery involved. No one is looking at the reality. If I write up my research, no one on the island will believe me. If I write their wackadoodle theories, I'll be laughed out of the industry.
You can tell me what you've uncovered about Belmore Manor. Trust me, at this point, few things would surprise me.
I heard the Belmore Trading Company was losing revenue, its profits eaten up by who knows what ventures those brothers had going on. I've seen the records. The company was privately owned, sure, but when you've got pressure building and the sharks are circling, you've got to shore up your defenses. I think that's why the Belmores persuaded Abigail to marry John Rackham.
Marry someone she didn't love?
But he didn't love her either. He was just after the company, so he hires the sailor to seduce her, convince her there's more to life than Devil's Rock. And as soon as she marries Rackham, they split, never to see each other again. He inherits the lot, and she disappears with her lover boy sailor to who knows where.
But why do you think all the guests disappeared?
They bumped them off to cover their tracks. Either one of them could have been sunning it up in Sarasota ever since. But imagine me writing that into a piece of serious journalism.
Something up.
Did you know Comptroller Grimes?
How could I forget him? The guy was a walking, talking migraine generator.
Surely you shouldn't speak of the dead like that.
Why not? I spoke plenty worse about him when he was alive. Anyway, I'm sure everything happens for a reason. And hopefully that reason is to increase my circulation numbers. Everything's connected, you know. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? I suspect it works for moths too, because I can never get the damn things out of here. Some people say that if a man breaks wind in Alabama, it can cause a hurricane in Fiji.
I think I shared a train car with that guy on my way here. I think I better be going.
Keep your eyes peeled for a story, McAllen. There are secrets on the island. And it's my job to run advertisements next to them.
There was no way I was going to get past the newspaper editor to get it. Besides, I didn't know how to operate it.
Hey, you can't come back here.
Sorry.
Don't even think about it. The spring on that printing press looks like it's going to blow at any moment.
The stories about Belmore Manor are true. I saw the ghost bride inside the house.
Blast it, Murphy. Don't say I didn't warn you. This island has had its fair share of the macabre. The best way to deal with it is to leave well enough alone. Why are you searching for that treasure anyway?
Well, it's my job. The state's claim on that money runs out at 8 a.m., and I'm supposed to find it.
You seem pretty passionate about something that's just for work. What are the odds you draw an assignment like that?
Well, I might have made my own luck there. They wouldn't normally authorize an investigation so close to the statute of limitations running out, especially on a 30-year-old cold case. But thrust a stack of forms in front of the boss 5 minutes before clocking off on a Friday afternoon, and he doesn't care what he's signing.
Well, let's just hope he wasn't signing your death warrant.
Most of my investigations don't amount to more than counting paperclips in a municipal building or going cross-eyed over receipt rolls in a courthouse. When I found that old case folder tucked behind the filing cabinet, its only lead, a water-stained magazine, talking about a real-life haunted house, how could I pass it up? I spoke with Dr. Moray. He thinks we can make contact with the ghosts.
Moray is a charlatan and a fool. Only got into hoodoo and voodoo a few years ago. Before that, he was an actor over at the Calliope Theater, and not a very good one. He's the only person I know who directed and starred in a one-person production of The Pirates of Penzance. And that's because all the rest of the cast dropped out rather than work with him. He's always been searching for respect and recognition. Who would have known he'd find it by living in the swamp and reeking of incense?
Don't you believe in voodoo?
I certainly do. I just don't think Moray's got any more control of it than the rooster has control of the sunrise. His understanding of voodoo amounts to whatever he's gleaned from one of those horror pictures Ventura Studios puts out at the movie palace. My mama used to know all about it. God rest her soul. Voodoo isn't some made-up Hollywood magic, Mac. Voodoo's a real religion. It's about community, about belonging, and about searching for something more than flesh and blood. It's not the snake oil he peddles.
What do you think happened at Belmore Manor?
Now there's a tale I don't like to tell.
Can I persuade you to tell it anyway?
I have a feeling I ain't gonna get any rest until I do. You know about Miss Belmore, the bride, engaged to the sailor? Nah, the way I hear, Mr. Rackham was over the moon with her. Such an upstanding fellow. I won't have a bad word said against him. Now he realized that the sailor was going through terrible lengths to ensnare his bride, and Mr. Rackham tried to save her. I heard that the sailor caught on to this and tricked Rackham into giving the lady a gift. That's what made everything go topsy-turvy.
What was the gift?
There are places in the Caribbean that trade things more elusive than gold. Ungodly things.
Do you think the disappearance was caused by voodoo?
And that's what my mama used to say. If you're not careful, that stuff can go to your head.
No luck fishing?
Not a bite, Mac. The Pencosa fish just ain't snapping for me today. Shame, too, because I'm planning on firing up my grill later. And then the tastiest catch in these waters.
How do you catch a Pencosa fish?
With hours of patience and decades of practice. You ever wrestled the rod before?
Just the once. I went fishing on Lake Erie, but the only thing I caught was a cold. What do you do with the fish you catch?
A couple I save for myself, and the rest I sell to the Captain's Club. They fancy them up with lemon lobsters, slawfish, something or other. But everyone knows the best way to cook them is to grill them.
Why won't you hear a word against Mr. Rackham?
He gave me my first work on this island, right here on these docks, and I'm still here to this day. He may have worn a scowl, but you don't judge a banana by its peel with people like him, Mac. When I looked into his eyes, all I saw was ambition.
What work did you do?
Loading and unloading the ships that came in. Of course, they just don't do that anymore. Dead Nettle's a forgotten town. Maybe that's for the best.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
Hey, Ned, do you mind if I borrow your knife?
If you need it, Mac, just bring it back to me later tonight, would you? If I'm lucky with my catch, I'll be firing up the grill. You're invited to join me, of course.
I needed to think of something else. Nope. The fish was already ripped open along the seam. The fish was already ripped open along the seam.
Well, the little girl is gone. Pick up that bottle. See if there's anything interesting in it.
As I picked up the bottle, I anticipated what could be inside. A brine-stained treasure map, perhaps, or a scribbled plea from a castaway desperately awaiting rescue. Looking inside, I found it was empty. The only writing on it was the embossed glass letters of the Orangello Soda Company.
Might be able to use it in the future. See if we can see anything in the tide pool that she was playing in.
I peered into the tide pools, but all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed.
Nothing more we can do. Let's go here first, I guess.
On the wall of the fort was a rusting metal plaque attributed to the Devil's Rock Historical Society. I jiggled the gate, but it wasn't going to open. If pirates and the colonial powers of Western Europe weren't able to get into the fort uninvited, I wasn't about to either. Here, kitty kitty. Psst, 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 psst. It was no use. That cat was clearly more entranced by shiny things than the stranger outside the gate. The fish had been dead for years, was primarily comprised of stuffing, and smelled faintly of formaldehyde. The cat wasn't going to be interested in it in the slightest. The cat seemed too entranced by the light to notice me dangling a ball of twine out for it.
I guess we won't be entering there yet. Creepy church. See if we can open the church.
The church door was locked.
Okay. I guess we can go one of two ways. Cemetery, cemetery. Let's go this way first. Looks like there's a puzzle over here for the crypt.
I couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a doorknob, not a keyhole. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good.
Okay.
The graveyard was dotted with headstones. Some old, some young, some legible, some not.
Oh, somebody's working here.
Hello?
Yeah! God darn it! Don't sneak up on people like that! You frighten the dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy.
I thought you were that pesky little girl again.
A little girl? That doesn't seem like a reason to be scared.
She's a terror! One of these days she's gonna give me a heart attack. Last week, she showed up with a doctor's note she'd forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him back up, at my age.
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo. Just like that little girl will be if I get my hands on her. Who are you, anyway?
My name's Murphy McCallan. I've just arrived on the island.
Well, welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle. Gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Oh, a treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard. There's no treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are supposed to be here.
Do you know anything about the disappearance at Belmore Manor?
I think it's important to let the dead rest in peace.
What if they're not in peace?
Well, you got me there. Listen, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the 3 brothers went missing, right? Well, if you ask me, I think Abigail Belmore was behind it. She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers. Then afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
You have any proof?
Yeah, just a feeling, that's all. But when you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things.
What do you think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, right? Done something to get his revenge.
What do you think he did?
Nobody knows. He could have been working his way through those bodies like a madman. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. To tell you the truth, quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they hadn't disappeared, it would have been this old fool who had to bury him. Saved me a lot of work.
I'll be right back. I have to head to the restroom real quick. Okay, I'm back.
Did you make this coffin?
I sure did. But this is no more than a pauper's coffin by anyone's standards. The finest a parish pension can buy. Lock them in lumber, leave them to slumber, that's what I say. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
You got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't have any to spare. I've got a backlog of bodies begging for burial. But does the parish increase my funding? Nope. The roof's leaking, our table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. Undertaking is a dying business.
Do you think I could fit inside the coffin?
Probably not. The gentleman inside might make it a bit of a squeeze.
You mean there's a dead guy inside there?
There better be. I can't afford to be burying empty coffins.
Was the little girl named Mallory Wisp by any chance?
That's her. The peril in a pinafore. She got the whole town thinking I was burying people prematurely. I walked past the school the other day, and they'd made up a jump rope chant about me.
Oh, what was the chant the school children made up about you?
Edgar, Edgar, crazy feller, just be careful, he don't get you. How many bodies did he strive to bury while they're still alive?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I wasn't looking for audience participation.
Sorry, I got carried away. Just like you with the burying. Have you ever accidentally buried someone who was still alive?
Has someone been making accusations again?
No, just make conversation.
Well, not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help, desperate shaking of the coffin.
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hopefully not the guy in the coffin.
Not funny.
I best be running along.
Don't drop dead. Anything else on my to-do list?
A rusty tin can sat on the ground. Its label read, Bloom's Canned Beef, family sized. Appetizing. The tin was full of nothing but holes. I didn't need to warm my hands on the stove. It was already a humid night, and the fire was more useful at keeping bugs away from the shack than keeping anyone toasty. I tried to move the coffin, but the table was being held up sturdily. A mischievous idea began to form in my mind. Hey, I think the guy inside here might still be alive.
And why would you think something like that?
The coffin was just shaking around. Maybe you should open it up.
Well, I didn't see it move.
The gravedigger had me in a conundrum. I could hardly start shaking it right in front of his eyes.
And unless the body inside starts jiggling around, I'm not opening up that coffin.
I tied the twine to the uneven table and took up a hiding spot behind a nearby wall. It was time to wake the dead. Hello? Hello? Why is it so dark in here?
Huh? Who's that?
I'm stuck! Help! Help!
Mallory, if that's you again.
Get me out of this thing!
Oh no, not again.
This is pretty funny.
Mister, are you okay? I'm so sorry. I was told... Mister? Oh, God darn it! Next time I see that girl, I'm gonna have a peewee-sized coffin all ready for her. A few hours locked in one of those should adjust her sense of humor.
Come on, mouse. There we go. It's loading. Yeah. Uh-oh. Says the program's not responding. I wonder, I hope we don't have to start all the way over. I don't know if there was like, I'm supposed to be saving along or if it automatically saves. Let's see if it starts working anytime soon. I guess I'll go ahead and move. And that's not responding. I guess my computer's just freaking out. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, there we go. Over here. Alright. Were you able to look in the coffin?
Searching the dead man's body was not something I wanted to do.
Okay, so let's get these.
I picked up the handful of discarded coffin nails from the tin.
Alright, we'll head back.
Hurry up with the barrels, Morris. We gotta get these unloaded before anyone sees us.
Are you sure this is a good idea, Musket? I don't think we should be using a church as our hiding place.
You're not being paid to think, Morris. You carry those barrels in here, let me worry about the theological implications. This place has been abandoned for decades. There's nobody around.
Nobody living, maybe. What if this ghost, boss?
Darn it, Morris. If brains was dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. Now get unload. Keep an eye out for anyone snooping around.
What if someone catches us?
If anyone asks, we're the new clergy. We tell them these barrels are full of communion wine.
I thought we was rum runners, not wine runners, boss.
Communion rum, then.
Oh, gotcha.
Remember, St. Juniper's Church is a place to get closer to God. And if anyone questions our alibi, we make sure that happens.
The pair of rum runners looked like the human personifications of the dish and spoon from Hey Diddle Diddle, beginning Spoon bossing around the rotund dish as it carried barrels effortlessly from the jalopy and into the church. As it turned out, nursery rhyme characters become a lot more intimidating once they have revolvers.
Should we go to the church? Hold on. Save. Ooh. Can I save? What's this? Did it just... What? Did it crash on me? It might have just crashed on me. Give me 1 second, guys. It says cloud error. Okay, so let us... They just walked in. I guess listen to the window.
I could see the shadows of the runners moving around inside the church, but I didn't want to get too close in case they saw me too. The jalopy door was locked. How ironic that the rum runners would take care not to be the target of criminality. The barrels were far too heavy for me to lift, though that girl of a rum runner had been picking them up like they were cotton balls. Wandering happily to the hideout of a pair of mobsters wasn't going to be a smart move. That didn't work.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here.
What is
Maybe
this,
I come
Mommy?
back.
What is this?
String. Oh, no, that just stayed away. Never mind.
No, deep.
Let's go try out here now.
Don't go outside.
I tried to persuade the chick come outside, but clearly I was out of cluck. The wood was old and rotting. It wasn't going to be of any use. And who knew what critters might have made their homes inside the pile? The inside of the lumber mill smelled like sawdust and grease. Judging from the overgrown weeds, it clearly hadn't been used in a long time, and yet the lights remained on. I picked up the auger from the tool shelf. I looked over the machine, but I couldn't find a way to turn it on, if it still worked. The hatches were locked. From their shape, I deduced they were for storing lumber, and I was in need of any 2x4s. The beam looked to be driven by the water wheel outside, and the multitude of wires fanning out from top, presumably hooked up to a generator. I tried the door, but it was locked. The saw blades were rusted, dull, and would surely have precipitated the need for a tetanus shot.
So it's not looking like we can do much in here as of right now.
Despite its obvious age, the water wheel was still turning. I couldn't hear it, probably a good thing if I didn't want to get dragged under by the current.
So, at the fort, it's locked up. At the Baxter's Mill, it's locked up. Belmore Manor has ghosts that are going to try to kill us.
I didn't want to make a hole in that. It was a billboard advertising beef, while the ways to eat beef in canned form was definitely at the bottom of my list of preferences.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open.
Yes?
Hi. I've got a story for you, a big one. There are runners at the church.
Your voice down, Motormouth. You want us to end up in the obituaries?
I thought you wanted a real scoop for the Gazette.
I do, just not one that gets me on the wrong side of the mob in the process. Pigeon elected mayor, cow does a high jump. Those are the types of stories that get eyes on the front pages.
But I thought journalists had duty towards truth, justice, and society.
But get that poppycock idea. My duty is towards the circulation numbers, and while I love shocker of a story, I'd rather not become the story if you catch my drift.
What are those filing cabinets?
Past issues of the paper, going all the way back to 1858. Of course, things were a lot more interesting when Dead Note was writing. People, ships, and cargo coming and going. Lots to report on back then. More than the drag-like dress of now.
Why did the ships stop coming to Dead Nettle?
The Bell Trading Company was the heartbeat of this island. After the disappearance, there was no one left to run the company, and it all got sold off. When that folded, so did pretty much everything else.
Do you have any back issues featuring the Belmore wedding?
We don't, I'm afraid. So the paper's directors were at the wedding, and disappeared along with everyone else. The newspaper had to close up shop for months while it was restaffed. This was back when Gazette wasn't run by just one person.
I think I better be going.
I've got my eye on you, Alan.
Hanging on a peg at the far side of the room was a battered flashbulb camera.
Hey, you can't come back here.
Sorry.
Don't even think about it.
That didn't work. I decided to leave Ned to his fishing. You think of my fish?
That's a whopper. Hang it on the scale and let's see what it weighs. Doubt it'll beat Squib's record, though.
I hung the fish on the scales.
You caught a goza. The most delicious fish around here. Especially, but you'll never be Squib's record.
Squib?
Jebediah Squibb. The Cajun catcher, he calls himself. Last week at the Dead Note docks, Squibb caught the heaviest pincosa on record. Got his photograph on the front page of the newspaper and everything. Now how am I gonna rest while he brags and boasts about it every single night?
This inner made of cotton material wraps, but she was distinctly unimpressive. I couldn't do that. that wasn't going to work. I filled the bottle with water from the fountain. I did need to pour water on that. The fish was already ripped open along the seam. The fish was already ripped open along the seam. I didn't need to pour water on that. I didn't need to pour water on that.
Welcome back!
I didn't need to look at that closely. The cabinet was filled with precious jewels, geodes, fossils, next to a small sign that read "Treasures of the Earth." I didn't think he'd be interested in that. I had nothing else to ask him. There's no way I'd carry a fishbowl full of water and a live goldfish around with me. Using the auger, I drilled a small hole in the barrel and out poured rum. Poured out the water that began to fill the bottle with rum pouring from the barrel. Relief washed over me at the realization that I'd done it without getting caught by the two rum rotters.
Hey, look it! There's someone out here!
Or so I thought.
Hey, Phil, what do you think you're doing around here? This is our show, and it's closed.
Just here to do some praying. mainly praying that I get out of this situation with a puncture wound.
He's being a wise guy. I'm a full of lead. But it's hard to bump someone off the churchyard.
Now, would you hear a nonsensical thing like that?
I thought churches were held ground where sin immorality would face supernatural punishment in this world or next.
Where do you get this stuff from? I told you I do in this partnership. Hey, put it away! One whiff of that prohibition will be all over again.
The clothesline was decidedly out of reach, even for a person who wanted to steal someone's freshly laundered undergarments. I wasn't one of those people.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open. Evelyn seemed busy, and I didn't have anything else to ask her. Would you like some rum?
I don't drink on the job. Not since I woke up that one morning and realized I'd swapped the front page copy with a letter to my therapist. I'm not sure who was more confused, the readers or my doctor.
I decided to leave Ned to his fishing. That didn't work. The tip of a wooden boat poked above the water. Clearly the remains of rather unfortunate addition.
Welcome back.
I thought I'd keep to myself. I didn't need to show him that. Hello, Edgar. Do you know there are a couple of gentlemen up by the church?
Front runners they are. Dealing with them's not my job description. As long as they don't mix up the stiff they're in with the stiff drinks they're smuggling, I'm keeping my nose out. Curiosity killed the cat, you know, and I really miss Mittens.
Who's it you're burying?
This is Theodore Grimes. He was a
Comptroller for Juniper Parish?
That's right. You knew him?
We were supposed to have a meeting. Clearly seemed to miss it.
Sure is. Now he's late Comptroller Grimes.
I best be running along.
Goodbye.
So this was Comptroller Grimes, when I was supposed to meet for my lodging, stipend, and authority papers. Something told me he didn't have them on him. Placard, Fort Moore, for public access. For further information, please contact Lighthouse Keeper. The lighthouse light was off. I decided to leave Ned to his mission.
Anything to report?
Keeping my eye open. Evelyn seemed busy, and I didn't have anything else to ask her. Hello, Felix.
Hello again, sir.
Ned told me he sells fish to you. What do you serve here?
Captains.
Right, yes, I mean by way of food.
The Captain's Club serves a dazzling array of sea-source dishes, from our Hal Jambalaya to my personal favorite, Devil's Rock Pancosa, and seared with lobster slaw and citrus crawfish plunk. In all honesty, it's not very popular. Most of the clientele are absolutely sick of sea by the time they get ashore. Just the side of it's queasy.
What about drinks?
Listen, if you're from Prohibition Bureau, we cleared all of it up with Officer Mo. Fines were paid, items changed hands, and now we're clear.
I'm not from any Prohibition Bureau.
Never forget I said anything. The Guns Club is strictly people, in line with federal law. Now, if certain members wish to bring their own vessels, then we're happy to provide you pumping aids. Nice tonic, Mitch and like, but we serve no alcohol on the premise.
I best be casting off.
Run field and your rush back, sir.
I didn't need to show him that again. I need to think of something else. I didn't need to show him that. The damp air of the bayou had swelled the window in its frame. It would need more force than my bare hands could supply to open it. that didn't work. With a bit of elbow grease, I levered up the window frame. Pressed against the wall was a dusty deck covered in spider webs, and to top it, one thing I am disturbed: a small document which I picked up, along with inadvertent alien companion. Ugh! Ghost stories and haunted treasures I'd handle, but spiders gave me the creeps.
You returned. Have you found all the ingredients and placed them in the big green?
Not yet. I'm working. I'm going to find the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
The gator disposed of, I turned my attention to the sack hanging from the crane. There was no apparent way to open it, but by the feel of it, it seemed to be filled with some kind of grain. I cut into the sack with the knife, revealing it to be full of corn. I took the corn from the sack. I needed to think something else. I scattered the corn on the path. Later, it attracted the attention of a curious chicken. I was glad nobody had seen it. I may have known how to handle it in drumstick, but the living version was altogether different. Now that the chicken was enjoying fresh air, there was nothing interesting in the chicken coop.
Okay, so we have to figure out how to wrangle this chicken.
I'd seen cowboys lashing cattle at the summer rodeo before, but when I did the same with Bristol swine chicken would have been ridiculous.
How eats chicken? Fish?
Nope.
Do they try to catch it?
Nope.
You blow it again?
If the chicken wanted to touch it, perhaps a blast of air could do the trick.
Is that what we needed? How do I... need black feathers with coffin nails. No problem. Okay. So, look the feathers and the ink at the place. I don't need chalk. Look what this guy has. Silver coin. Okay.
It was a single coin made of silver. At the center of the manuscript was an empty circle, arrows pointing inward from each of the ingredients. It was marked Hocus.
Alright. Let's go back. To the middle.
Anything? Keeping my eyes open.
Okay, feathers and ink.
Delicately, I dipped the feathers into cans of ink. When they emerged, they were dyed jet black.
Okay.
Yes?
Hi. Would you take my photograph?
You know how much it costs to look at photographs. I'm on a limited budget, McAllen. Unless you've done something notable, you're not getting it to print.
I think I better be going.
I've got my eye on you, McAllen.
What dude's notable? Oh, you know, catching big fish, maybe. Or bird. I don't know.
show hadn't started yet. A paper sign hung in front of the theater. One side displayed the flair and thinness of a person sealed with a fountain pen. The other side revealed a written back of cut-up soapbox.
So this guy in here, he collects from the world, which I think includes bone. Figure out how I can make fish heavier.
Welcome back!
There's bone in here.
Cabinets filled with precious jewels, geodes, and fossils next to a small sign read Treasures of the Earth. And nothing else to add.
Okay, right. We need to find the lighthouse keeper. We need to figure out some way to make the fish heavier so we can beat the record. Yeah. Housekeeper isn't in town, it looks like. Let's check the beach again. See if anybody's up there. No. Is there nowhere else I can search out here?
I peered into the tide pool, where all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed. That wasn't going to work. That wasn't going to work.
I figured if we filled the fish with sand, or if the magnet picked up anything metal, it might be of use. I guess not. I guess we'll go closer to the mission. See if we can find anything of use there, except I think both slowly. Haven't looked again. For dinner. Okay. Yes.
Looking out over the tranquility of the gardens, its magnolias lit by moonlight, nothing take my attention away from the macabre sight dangling from the oak tree. A hanging skeleton, its wedding little more than tattered eyes gleamed to bone, its skull seemingly watching me with hollow, unblinking eyes, an eternal groom without a bride.
Oh wow. Or look it down. Come on.
I didn't need to cut that. I didn't need to cut that.
Okay.
I didn't need to cut that.
Really, you made me walk all the way there just to tell me anything. Okay.
A skeleton, clothed in wedding attire, hung by the neck from a branch of a tree. Glinting in the moonlight was a wedding ring still held clasped in its bony fingers. The starch under the tree didn't offer any possibility to climb it.
So we're going to get there somehow. What do we have to go through the manor to get there?
The wheel was too heavy to move. The doors were firmly locked from the inside. The knot was tied so tightly I couldn't loosen it. I couldn't do that.
You want some love?
The rope was too thick for the scissors to get purchased. I would have been hacking away for hours like a nearsighted lumberjack.
But you're always around, but you're not giving me attention.
Sorry, I'm talking to the puppy.
Yeah, he's all he loves.
So maybe we can use a knife. Cut it. There we go.
I was going to dust the molasses with my bare hands. With the items I was borrowing across the island, some may have said I had sticky fingers. This would have made it a little bit too literal.
Is there anything we can put the molasses on? Can I put the fish?
Nope.
No. I'll get the fish out with some molasses. Fish back. Alright, let's go with that. There'll be some there.
I reached the cow stall and dislocated its grisly jaw.
Okay. I guess that might count as the bone. So you gun part is off the silver coin. Alright. Come down, dude. So I hold the body from the inside.
The doors were firmly locked from the inside.
Okay, alright. Alright, let's go that way. Let's go look at the furniture over here.
the patina of rug. It was clear the patio set hadn't been used in decades.
Nope.
Ouch! Some for good luck. I picked up a horseshoe that assaulted me. It was heavy, as the bump on my head attested. With the rip seam as an opening, I placed the horseshoe inside the taxidermy fish. Now it was heavy. I considered wading into the pond, water up my waist, squelching my way through the reeds of mud, past frogs, bugs, and water snakes. Then I realized I had absolutely no reason to do that. That didn't work. I need to think of something else. I didn't need to show him that.
Mac, does that say what I think it does? You been holding back on me. That breaks Squid record.
McAllen! How does it feel to have decimated the town record in your first few hours on?
How did you hear about this so fast?
It's my job to not think fast. Now, I'm asking questions. Where'd you get fish, McAllen?
Well, a mighty out on the southern coast. Fin strong as a motor. Its mouth as fierce as a tiger's. I paused dramatically to allow my fishing prowess to wash over them.
What rod do you use?
Wooden one?
Mean what make?
You know, I didn't use a rod.
You caught the fish without a rod?
It was more one-on-one. Mono fish show.
You wrestle fish?
And one.
Well, it's not the pain to say it. You're the cover story in the next edition of the Juniper Pouch Gazette, and this is why I'm not Blizzard.
Somebody will think about how expensive it is to develop
I gotta
that.
hand it to you, Mac.
Shoot that fish.
I don't know how you got it. As long as you stay quiet at the watch party tomorrow, I ain't complaining.
I'd had enough of hearing these suspiciously heavy fish around. I decided to leave it there.
Murphy, have you seen the cover of the evening edition? I think we caught personality perfectly in that photograph. Naive, simple, and sophisticated. Makes it all the more surprising that you actually accomplished something.
I wonder if I'd have it framed.
That'll cost you.
Evelyn seemed busy, and I didn't have anything else to ask her.
Hey, those cost money, you know.
Where's my photograph?
The do not serve board down at the belly bar has my photograph on it, but that doesn't mean you can just take it out and walk out with it, does it?
I'd like to buy a newspaper.
Finally, I guess I can have you littering in here. That'll 1 cent, please.
I picked the newspaper. The fewer people I saw, the better.
Island Coast Fishing Records, Dr. Frederick Patch of the Pincosa Fish, by Local Fisherman, Ship of Glib has been rapidly snatched by a newcomer to the island state auditor Murphy McCallaghan. Glib had managed to capture the Pincosa Fish since records began 8 decades ago, but it proved no match to their favorite newcomer. Fate with the face dribbling with naivety, simplicity, and bewilderment. Murphy claimed struggled to find the words to communicate his unearthly accomplishment. Was it beginner's luck? Foul play? Whatever it was, weak and confident it was fishing prowess. As Murphy turned looks, the time more likely to get the hook in the rod than the handle. Murphy McCallow's presence on the island is sure. Did you change my last name? Yeah, she does. Certify the music result, and we wish him well on his investigations here long will his record last. Information wanted.
The headline read, Island Newcomer was fishing record, with my photograph printed in black and white. Carefully, I cut my photograph out of the newspaper. It was a photograph of myself I cut out of the newspaper. I wish I posed better. I was going to be something adhesive to stick it in with. Touch the back of the photograph to molasses. Thanks to the stickiness of molasses, the photograph adhered nicely to the cactus slices.